Millie Weaver reporting for Infowars.com. Well, behind me, there's a mini excavator, and we've got a big pile of rocks here. Well, let's say I don't want this pile of rocks here. Should I sue the manufacturer of this mini excavator? Well, no, because that wouldn't make sense, would it? Because obviously a person had to operate the mini excavator to then put the pile of rocks there in the first place. Well, this is the failed logic that some parents in the Parkland shooting whose children were killed during the shooting are using to now sue the gun manufacturer of the gun that was used in the Parkland shooting. Essentially an AR-15 that Nicholas Cruz bought from a store, and so they're suing the gun store and the gun manufacturer in their lawsuit. Now, the parents are the parents of Jamie Gutenberg and Max Schachter, and they have filed and listed American Outdoor Brands. Now, that is the gun manufacturer who made the AR-15, and Sunrise Tactical Supply as defendants in their claim, and they say that they were complicit in the entirely foreseeable deadly use of the assault-style weapons that they sold. So essentially, it's the fault of the gun manufacturer for the shooting? That doesn't make any sense. That's like saying that let's go ahead and sue the manufacturer of kitchen knives if somebody decides to stab someone with kitchen knives. Well, by the way, kitchen knife stabbings and murders are actually way more common statistically than gun shootings and gun murders. You're more likely to be killed by a kitchen knife than you are by a bullet. So this is the failed liberal logic that you see. And by the way, stick around to the end of this video because I am going to demonstrate to you that it does take a person to operate a piece of equipment and essentially put something into action. So I'm going to drive this baby and test her out. But this is ridiculous, okay? This is just an attack, a blatant attack on the gun manufacturing industry. They want to try and sue the guns. Well, let's talk about the FBI. Now, the FBI had foreknowledge that Nicholas Cruz was a threat. He had made several threats online saying he was going to be a famous shooter, and everyone knew and reported that this guy was a threat to the FBI. The FBI actually is more likely to have liability because it is their job and responsibility to keep Americans safe and to prevent someone from committing terrorist attacks. So this is the real question. Why are these Parkland parents not suing the FBI, but instead suing the gun manufacturer and the gun shop for either creating the gun or selling the gun to Nicholas Cruz? This just goes to show blatant hypocrisy, and this is a pure agenda to attack the Second Amendment. Now, I have an example here of how gun control doesn't work and the real solution to the problem of stopping mass shootings is more guns. So in Oklahoma City last night at 6:30, a gunman walked into a restaurant and began opening fire. He was able to shoot two women, a mother and a younger girl, and essentially wound them. They had to be taken to the hospital. But this shooting could have been way worse had it not been for an armed citizen who happened to have his gun in the parking lot and was able to go and shoot, essentially kill this gunman. And he essentially prevented a mass shooting from happening. More lives could have been lost. Now, the mainstream media is not giving this story nearly as much attention and coverage as they do shootings, which you have the Parkland shooting or the Sandy Hook shooting, these shootings where you have massive devastation because massive lives have been lost. Those shootings get more attention, essentially making the shooters famous or infamous. And I mean, Nicholas Cruz is still receiving love letters from prison from girls. I don't know what kind of deranged person would be sending him love letters, but it's just an example that the shooters get way more attention than these armed citizens who stop shootings, who save lives. It's because the mainstream media doesn't want us to know the real solution is more guns. Ooh, bet that one hurts, mainstream media. Well, I'm going to go ahead and test this baby out. I'm sure you guys are all waiting for it. I'll show you how. You have to operate something to make it do something. Just like a gun, there has to be someone there to pull the trigger to make it fire.